What's up, everybody? Welcome to TJ's Trucking. Starting this new channel off. We're gonna go step by step. Got some crazy stories for you as well of things that I went through in this trucking world. There was a time where every day I spoke to my sister. My sister's the reason why I got into trucking. And I would tell her, it seems like you learn something new every day. And I literally was learning something new every single day. We're gonna touch on all of that. This video is pretty much gonna be the pilot. And what we're gonna talk about is how to get into trucking, right? A lot of people see it. They see those big signs on the back of the trucks, $2,500 a week. We're gonna get into all of that. I'm with a company now. I'm gonna post my paychecks so you guys can see. I'm gonna blurt out my real name and my address. I know you women out there wanna get a hold of me and stuff, but I'm working on something right now. So she's up to bat. Let's just say you ladies, you on deck. You like baseball, you on deck. But I'm gonna tell you how to get into trucking. So when I very first started, my sister is the reason why I got into trucking. She got on the plane one time. She was coming back from a cruise, and just the luck of the draw, man. It's crazy. But there was a kid that wasn't able to sit with her family, and my sister said that she'll switch seats with the kid so that the kid can sit with the family. I'm pretty sure I'm getting all this correct. And when she got her new seat, she ended up sitting next to this other lady. What's the odds, right? Normally you see a bunch of guys doing trucking. My sister got into trucking because of a woman. So she's sitting there on the plane, and she's telling her, they start talking. Where'd you come from, or where you coming from? You going back home? And she's like, I just came from a cruise. What do you do for a living? And at that time, I think my sister was driving like a school bus or something, or I forgot what my sister was doing at the time. Anyway, she said, what do you do for a living? My sister asked this girl this, and she said, I'm a truck driver. And she said, you're a truck driver? She said, yeah, I make about $1,300 a week. And at that time, it was like $1,300 a week. A week? I need to get there, right? My sister's a go-getter beyond belief. Some people try to keep up with her. You're not keeping up with my sister. This year alone, because of trucking, she went on 3 cruises in 3 months. So you get with the right company, you do what you're supposed to do. 3 cruises in 3 months, no bullshit. So she started trucking, I believe it was for Schneider first. Schneider will hire you immediately. They'll put you in school. We're gonna go through all that in these videos here. They'll put you in school and pretty much study. That's all I can say. I remember the first time she was like, take a ride with me to Utica, which is like the city up in New York, high New York, upstate New York. We're located more towards the capital. She's like, take a ride with me. And I'm like, all right. I get in the truck, and I think I was out all night or, doing something I had no business doing, messing with girls here and there. And I don't mean like that because, when I have a girlfriend, I'm off the market, but I believe I was single at the time. I get in the truck, I go in the back and go to sleep. Straight up. She's like, well, what help are you? My sister gives it to me raw and uncut, and sometimes you gotta have that. You're gonna run into people like that if you get certain trainers. I had 7 trainers, and we're gonna go through all of that as well. And this is a nice looking dog right here. There's another nice, you ever saw the show Wishbone? Remember Wishbone back in the day? That was my show on PBS. There's a dog right here that looks just like Wishbone. I should steal this motherfucker. It's a nice looking dog right here. Damn. Look just like Wishbone's son. I should take this chicken now. Actually, give it to him. I got chicken in the back, and I'm not gonna eat it, so I should give him to the dog. Shit. Anyway, Utica is about an hour and 10 minutes, right? So eventually I wake up. She pulls into this truck stop. I don't know what nothing is at this time. I am completely novice when it comes to straight Okie. Straight Okie. Shout outs to Paper Soldiers. Go watch that movie. It's on Tubi for free. Shout outs to Kevin Hart. This cat is straight Okie. I was Okie at the time, right? Go find out what it is. I was Okie at the time. And she said, all right, you drive. And I'm like, are you sure? You know, this is your job. You're working for Snyder right now. You want me to drive? She's like, yeah, you drive. So I said, okay. This is my bigger sister now. She's 1 year, 2 weeks, and 3 days older. And I say that because I've been hearing it my entire life. And she always reminds me of it. Every time I get a chance to throw in there, like we'll walk into a store or something and they'll be talking to my sister and I'll be like, yeah, this is my little sister right here. Because I'm taller than she is. You know, I try to hurry up and get in there. And she'll just, this is my little brother. I'm always her little brother. I can't just be her brother, right? I'm always her little brother, right? Whatever. But she told me jump in the driver's seat. So I jump in the driver's seat and I start driving for the first time ever. I know how to drive a car. I know how to drive, you know, of course, SUVs, vans. I work for hotels and stuff. And so I'm in this tractor trailer. First thing she said to me was, if you pull in somewhere, make sure you have enough room to back up. You don't ever want to back up with a truck unless you have to. So pull in to where you can keep going straight unless you have to back up, right? Like I said, once again, this is the first day. You learn something new every day. And that was my first study guide. Don't pull into somewhere and get stuck. If you got to go into like a receiver or whatnot or a shipper and you don't know if that's the building, park where you do have room, get out and walk. Get your big ass up and get out your truck and go walk to the facility to make sure. Because the last thing you want is to go down the road and then you get stuck. I heard stories where cops had to come and escort you back out because you didn't decide to get your ass up and go look first, right? So that was the first rule. So we're driving down the highway. I'm driving. She could have gotten crazy trouble for this too. But my sister always made sure if she had it, she was going to make sure I had it. That's kind of the festivities of being the younger brother, right? That's pretty cool, actually, you know? It's always been that way. My sister bought me my first car. My sister made sure she took me out of football practice to go get my permit. She taught me how to pass my license. She gave me a little dab of information to pass. My sister's always done pretty much, you know, when I fill out the emergency contact, my sister's the one that I put down. So I'm driving down the highway or whatnot in the tractor trailer, and she said, I'm just cruising, you know, I drive. Don't get twisted. I always feel like I'm the best driver in the world. And I love the fact of now having the title a professional driver. I called myself a professional beforehand, but now I'm a professional because I get paid to drive. You see what I mean? So I'm a professional driver, right? We're driving down the highway or whatnot, and I noticed that I'm doing like 72. And my sister looks over like, why you going so damn fast? You know, like I said, she don't sugarcoat shit. Why you going so damn fast? I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was that fast. You know, speed limit is 75. I'm going 72. So I realized in certain, depending on the company you get with, they're going to micromanage everything that you do. And I ended up going up to 72, 73 miles an hour. And she got very upset about it. And I ended up driving. I did okay. I drove all the way back to the city, pulled into the truck stop. And that was it. That was my first day ever. But I realized, take the gems that I did learn. I didn't know I was going to get a trucking even at that time. I was just doing something because my sister told me to do it. It's what it is, So about a month later, she gets a call from her job. And she's like, Ms. Collins, we're wondering why your speedometer ended up reading 73 miles an hour. Can you tell us about that? And my sister don't hold her tongue. She's like, I ain't do that. Your system must be fucked up. I ain't do that shit. And then it dawned on her, I was in the truck, and they're like, well, we're going to have to bring you in, make sure that you're not under the influence. You're not doing something you're not supposed to be doing. Even though Snyder will hire you right away out the gate into school, if you already have your license and you're going to get a job, they'll hire you, but they will micromanage the hell out of you. They're watching everything that you do. You could be going down a hill, because I think that's what happened. We're going down the hill on the highway, and your truck is going to gradually, especially if you have weight, your truck is going to gradually just pick up speed. So mine ended up picking up speed, and that's how we ended up hitting that 73 mark, But the lesson of today was pretty much, don't pull into a spot unless you're guaranteed that you can get out of that spot. Other than that, get your funky ass up and go and make sure that that is the place you're going to go, and there's enough room for you to get in and get out, okay? But yeah, she got the call. She called me up too. TJ, were you driving? You were driving 73. That was the day that I drove it. I was like, yeah, I didn't know. But I didn't know that they won't catch it right away, but they will catch it, okay? So just be mindful. You also don't want to get tickets out here, because that'll ruin. I just got my first 2 tickets in the last, 2 days in a row. I got 2 tickets. Once again, going down a hill. The other one was a citation. I guess certain trucks can't go on certain roads, and you can get a ticket for that as well. But we'll get into all that later on. But make sure you can get into a spot. Make sure if you get into a spot, make sure you can get out of it, okay? But I'll be back with more, TJ. Drop the comments. I'll respond to everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe. You have any questions, let me know. I will be more than happy to answer, because the trucking world is like your own little family. People at the truck stop are there to help you. People want you to succeed, I've had people jump up in my truck and back that thing up, because I didn't know I wasn't that good at backing, So the truckers are always out to help you. We're going to get into, there's a plus and minus of everything. So we're going to get into the minus side of shit too. But TJ's Trucking, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be back with another one. I'm about to go feed that Wishbone dog. I'm going to see if I can steal that motherfucker. That was a cool ass dog right there. I'm out, y'all.